We are in the retreat number 125, fifth, at the Nissarana Vanaya. So today is the first question and answer session. To start, before starting the session, I'll give a brief reminder or the remarks, so that it will be easier for both the parties to conduct it in an efficient way. As retreatants, we have already given for three kind of facilities or kind of treatments to the retreatants. So the very first one is letting you all to listen to the basic instructions for meditation, Kamata. The second part is we have given the timetable and the daily routine. The third one is the familiarization, the compendium of rules, so that each and everyone knows under what circumstances the retreat is conducted. So, if anyone is entertaining any doubts doubt pertaining to precepts that you have undertaken, please raise questions and make it clear. Otherwise, it will be a unwanted dragging, entertaining of doubts. So this time, what we are going to use now is to raise such questions individually or as a group. The second thing is any remarks about this timetable. Still, even though we are not going to change this immediately, we will consider for the future changes as well as even for this very retreat. And the last one is our rules and regulation. We have been refining for the one after the other retreat. So we have come up to a certain maturity. So if anyone is having any difficulty or any suggestion or any statement, you may take time to present here in this question and answer session. So besides that, there are two other purposes in this question and answer session. One thing is that interviews. We consider this as common interview or kamatahan sudha karana in Sinhala, and therefore any questions pertaining to your meditation and interviews also being addressed. And the last one is, the third aspect is, when we are taking part in the Dhamma discourses, any question pertaining to the discourses also you can raise as a question. There are two methods one can raise questions. One thing is you can write it and put into the question and answer box. The other one is, if you, while it is happening, while the session is on, if someone is having any question, you can raise the hand and then the mic will be available. So that is pertaining to the Dhamma questions, and I usually reject just theoretical questions. I only take questions pertaining to the Dhamma talk, and questions pertaining to your meditation, and questions pertaining to our rules and regulation. We have to come together and discuss these things. We will take other things. I may not be taking. And the last remark I would like to mention is, sometimes when you are writing and presenting the question, I maintain my authority to cross-question the person. So that particular person may write the question anonymously. But if the question is not enough information, I may ask the person to come out and give the answers, but it is not a must. If you are happy to be anonymous and forego the question, it's okay. Sometimes whenever there is not enough information, my habit is to raise the question. So given that basic instruction, now I would like to start the question and answer session. Who will be presenting? You may come to the mic, and I prefer this place because it is more light here. I don't know.
Venerable Sir, we have 5 questions here. And please forgive all of us if the questions are not yet entirely in line with your expectations, because there are also newcomers who have put forward questions, and they may have worded them differently. So we beg your permission.
The answer for this question is, if the questions are not suitable, the retreat organizer is answerable. So retreat organizer has to say, before the question and answer session, at least put the question 30 minutes before. Other questions will go to the next time. And if any question rejected, the retreat organizer should definitely address to that particular person and don't reject anything, just tell why it is being rejected and just take a chance to explain what are the rules and guidelines. So then my time, usually I give it to the retreat organizer, and then retreat organizer must be expert on the how to write interview reports and what to reject and what not to reject. And whenever it is rejected, don't discourage the person who is writing. Take time, may not be it is being named. So therefore ask them to please come and meet you personally. Just tell them, because it's a very important thing. After 125 retreats, now we are so sharp. 2-3 days time we can understand how much we get aligned if the questions are asked in a said manner. And so far I have trusted retreat organizers and I got so much of benefited. So I give that responsibility to the retreat organizers. You can dedicate to anyone as you like.
Dear Venerable Sir, I am a new meditator. I try to do Anapanasati meditation, but I cannot seem to locate the in or out breath. Only time I could locate this is when I forcefully take a breath. Is this an indication that I have to first do Samatha Bhavana before embarking on a retreat like this? Please advise on how to proceed from here. How do I find out if I am Samatha or Vipassana to develop correctly on the path?
Being the first day, we will take time, for it will be a kind of a guideline for all the new and old one. If you are listen to the basic instructions properly, it says you just sit and be aware of your sitting posture. Don't rush to mind breath. Therefore, this particular person, if ready to cross-questioning, please let me know when you sit, can you be aware that I am sitting, I am not standing, I am not sleeping, I am not walking, I am sitting, and if that is there, that's the embarkation. And after that only then you can understand what is the most prominent phenomena within the posture. So therefore don't rush into the most prominent phenomena, just try to focus the attention to your sitting posture. And if that is there, don't worry, don't entertain doubt pertaining to the Samatha and Vipassana. It is nothing concerned with Samatha Vipassana. This is gradual process. First thing first. When you sit, if you know I am sitting and not walking, not standing, not sleeping, I have my rights to ask, how do you verify that you are not walking? How do you verify you are not sitting? Standing. How do you verify when you are sleeping? And that is the starting point. And I will assure you, any person, the most expert person in this audience will understand once you become Arahant also, that is the last one also. If you know when you are sitting, that is Arahantu. So it's a starting point as well as the end point. So therefore don't worry about the breath. Breath is another sophisticated tool. Without that, embarkation is there. So if that particular person who has written is ready to answer the question, whenever you focus, have you ever focused the attention to the sitting posture? When you focus the attention, what is the way you verify it? And then that answer will be quite an eye-opener to all the audience. So if the person is ready, welcome. Otherwise, we are going to go to the next question. So let me have the question first, then you can directly answer. When you, sitting posture, sitting meditation, when you sit, first and foremost thing is your assurance or your understanding, I am sitting. Are you informed with that system rather than going to the breath? Sit and understanding sitting. That is first question. Second thing is, if you are informed and if you have ever tried, what is your experience?
Venerable Sir, I just sat down and went directly to the breathing, thinking that that's the most important aspect. Didn't
so
really
that means that you are not being well informed, you are not instructed. The breathing is the second stage. First and foremost thing is, when you are walking, you have to understand you are walking. When you are sitting, you have to understand sitting. So therefore make that correction, and it is very clearly indicated in the basic instructions. So if you need, on the third day, I generally recommend you to listen to the basic instruction with this in your mind. And second thing is, even if you have not tried it, can you give, or are you ready to share with us, is it a possible thing for you to sit and be aware that I am sitting?
Yes, I would be able to do that.
So now you are doing it. You are sitting.
Yes.
How do you feel? How do you know that you are not walking? How do you know that you are not sleeping? How do you know you are not standing? What is the experience? What is the feeling that I am sitting?
The fact that I actually thought about that I am sitting is the thing that made me realize that I am sitting, right?
No, the sitting, that kind of a thought can happen in a dream. You can't verify it. Now you are not in a dream. So there should have something very rigid, very concrete, very materialistic thing to say, I am not standing, I am not walking, I am not sleeping, I am sitting. Thinking is, I consider as a concept. I am asking something verifiable, rigid thing, pragmatic thing. How do you know? How do you feel? How do you experience sitting? That's the way the meditation becomes pragmatic.
I can feel the flow.
There you are. That's it. So that means that to understand my back is touching on the ground, need no any concept, need no any second person. It is a verifiable thing. That is what you call simple, direct, under the nose thing. So if you know it, my assurance is, if you can make sure for sitting 1 hour and all 1 hour, if you know you are aware sitting, you are Arahant. Believe me. That's it. Meditation is so simple. You people are making unwanted complication with the formulas and the gradual process and all the kind of thing. It's so simple. The Buddha mentioned, when you are sitting, you can feel the whole body. That is what you call experience. That is what you call jhanic experience. And that is what you call sohan. And I would say that's what you call arahant. You sit, you know it. Ready to accept? Yes.
Sorry. You sit, you know it, but you can't have any other thoughts in your mind, right?
Never mind. That is not a condition. That can be, it's an open issue. That will be, we will be learning within the course of 10 days. While you are sitting, is it exclusively sitting, or meanwhile can I have some astral thoughts? Can I have bird sounds? Can I have other visions? Have anything? So I keep that open. There samatha vipassana come into play. Don't preconceive, keep it open. Okay, so we'll go for the next question.
Theruvan Saranai, Venerable Dhammajiva. When I am listening to a speaker who is abusive or unkind or lying, I automatically begin to meditate and take my mind away from what is negative. I do anapanasati. I observe my dissatisfied mind. Then my breath comes like a shaft over my upper lip. Gradually I observe the breath becoming lighter, milder. Next, I noted that my muscles around my face, eyes and body relax. I noted that my mind calmed down. I then noted that the speaker was continuing with his talk with negative and false words, but now it did not matter to me. I may have looked rude, but I observed my feelings were calm and happy. I could not feel compassion for him. Is this a good thing to allow to happen? May you have a long and blessed life. May you be healthy, well and happy. May you become an arhat in this life itself.
So that means you have to pay 24 hours someone to talk. Then 24 hours you will be meditating and mindful. Very expensive. So if you have a hateful speaker, that means 24 hours you will be mindful, 24 hours face muscles relax, 24 hours you are in meditation. But lucky enough we have enough speakers, bloody fool politicians. So listen to politician, have a record and you are mindful. Who Pandita Sayadaw is going to give, he gave a kind of a simile. He says there's an engine driver, railway engine driver, he got retired and then he got a problem, insomnia. He can't sleep. And one day his assistant called a wife and asked, how is the boss? He says, wife told, you don't know, he's utterly in a mess. He can't sleep, so we are under the medicine. So what? While I am walking throughout, he was sleeping in the running engine. How can that be not sleeping after getting the retirement? I will come and talk. So he went there and talked with his boss, retired boss. Now he's suffering, no sleep. And he told the wife, okay, I know the answer. Have a recorded CD of the running engine and then keep it in his side of the bed. He will be sleeping. With the engine is running, he feels comfortable because assistant is working. He can sleep. That's the way he was up to the age of 25, 55, he was sleeping. After the retirement, he is not sure the engine is running, so he is excited. So likewise, you have to have a running engine CD, so whenever your noise is there, you feel comfortable. So this is the way our mind make escapism. Even the meditation people take it as escapism. If you have a fight with your wife, you go for retreats. Escapism. And most of the people go to the temple because house is such a hell. So therefore to escape, go to the meditation or go to the Dhamma talks. So our mind is always find ways and means, avoid something. So for that, even the Buddha you can make use. Dhamma you can make use. Sangha you can make use. So therefore, and ultimately it says, even if I am relaxed and manapana, I can't compassionate with that particular person. I can't radiate metta. Because your meditation is just a reaction to, or inhibition to that sounds. So ultimately this can make such a big complex mental situation. So therefore, if that particular person is talking, you go to a silent place and do meditation. If it's a radio, switch it off. If it's a TV, switch it off. Otherwise, imagine what a kind of karmic forces that particular person coming and talking at your earshot. You can't avoid it. Only avoidance is mindfulness on the breath. So, I can't recommend that kind of a thing. So therefore do it in the common sense. And meditation do whenever you relax. Never do meditation when you are in a tension. As a remedy or as a therapy, then you are not giving the due respect to the meditation. do meditation, specifically the beginners, whenever the whole situation is conducive, as much as possible, then only you must start meditate. Otherwise, if you are going to use meditation as alternative or escapism or inhibition, the complication can take place. So therefore, see the possibility to get a distance from that particular person and then do meditation. Later you may assimilate other ways and means, but this won't appear much healthy the way it presented. Maybe I have taken the question in the wrong way. My simple answer is, for this hearing dissatisfaction, don't use meditation, use common sense, and once that is successful only, you can go for mindfulness on breath or something like that.
Thank you, sir. So, I have a question here in Sinhala. Is that all right? The person wants you to reply both in Sinhala, a combination of English and Sinhala.
No, I don't take that questions. Only English. Because there are some people, those who can't understand Sinhala. So therefore, please understand this is an English medium retreat. So therefore, I can give only, I can enter on the English medium. Otherwise, it will be not fair by the advertisement that we have made.
Okay. Dear, I'll translate the question.
No, we reject the question.
Okay. So that's essentially it then, Venerable Sir. Those are the only questions we can ask.
That all written questions are finished.
That's correct. Yeah.
So we have taken about 30 minutes, so another 30 minutes available. If the particular person who has written in Sinhala is ready to translate into English and represent it again, accepted. So otherwise you may make use this time for any questions directly raising to the audience.
So there is one question on morality.
We may take in that because we have time.
Okay, thank you, sir. It is again a newcomer to Nissarana, Vanaya, I think. Most Venerable Bhante, when I did walking meditation on the sand near the Bodhi trees, I felt that I might be stepping on the tiny ants running around on the sand. Even though the intention to kill the ants is not present in my mind, the knowledge that they are there where I was walking was in my mind. Please clear my mind as to how I should take it in this process of walking meditation.
Therefore it says, at the beginning, you have to sweep the sand, you have to sweep the walking path, remove if there are any grass, specifically if you are not high ordained, and make the walking path clean to the common sense. And then you do walking meditation, and even then there may be some hurting to the animals, hurting to the ants, but that we have no intention. If there are obviously ants or any creatures, then you do transgression. So therefore, do a respect to the walking path, that means sweep it and see whether there are thorns or grass or any animals or any creatures, clean it and then you have to do. And the very first story in the Dhammapadatta Katha, Venerable Cakkupala, his enlightenment and becoming blind happened in the same moment. So then he wanted to come to and pay respect to the Buddha, but he can't walk. He got another assistant and came to the Buddha, and while waiting for the Buddha, he started walking, but it's full of animals, he can't see. And then the resident monks found that visiting monks has come, and he is walking on the creatures and they complain to the Buddha. So ultimately, instead of the visiting man paying respect to the Buddha, Buddha come and met Venerable Cakkupala in his walking path, and then he was so happy and paid respect, and all the monks told that Cakkupala was walking on the ants and there was a lot of killing, And that is not done. He's a visiting monk. Then the Buddha told that he is a blind person. He is an arahant. He has no any intention about animals. So therefore, how can be there an evolutional activity? Chetanam bhikkhave kammang vadami. Your volitional activity is the kamma. If there is no volition, nothing to worry. But you have to give a fair understanding for your common sense. If there is no animals for your naked eye, that's all we have to say. And when you are drinking water, if you are putting under the microscope, you can see it's more than a zoo, so much of animals. But the Buddha gave is, take a piece of cloth and strain it, and once you strained, that is what is considered as pure. But Nigantanatha Buddha, he was not happy. He told his disciples that 7 times you have to strain, you have to wipe your path while you are walking, and you must never wear clothes, and you must not eat with a plate. You must put the food into the ground and eat. Like he went to the very far extreme. Then the Buddha mentioned that is not done with your body. Keep bare basic needs and believe your common sense. So this is the disciplinarianism, or it is called disciplinarians. These people were oversensitive, and then therefore they can't do anything because everything appears like something transgression. So ultimately they go for self-restrainment. So therefore, up to the mark you go to the Udyabhya Jnana, or rising and passing away in a very, very vivid and lucid and prominent way, you have your value judgment positively or negatively to the morality. So therefore, whenever it is happening, see your intention. Volition, and it is clearly indicated there is no such. So under such circumstances, believe the common sense, sweep the path, do walking meditation. There may be, no one can say, but we can't avoid it. Whatever you do, there are some animals, and therefore it says in the rumors or in the folk stories, you won't get hairs on this other side of the palm, because when you are walking, you are hitting so much of bhutyo, so much of unseen creatures. That's why it is rubbing, so there won't be any hairs developing there. When you are moving the hand, so much of bhutyo, right, wrong. Who knows? You can't say yes, you can't say no. This is what the folk stories are telling. So therefore you are living on hell of a number of bhutayas now. And when you are walking, so much of earthworms are blackguarding you. You are tramping them. We are living on other space. We eat someone's food, specifically monks. We depend on others, so we are utter pests, utter pestering. So therefore, do minimum amount of pestering and use it for the enlightenment. That is the only justification. Anything you do not leading to enlightenment, it indicate that you are survival of the fittest and you are pestering upon other people, other animals. So therefore, don't try to do it intentionally. Don't try to transgress it. Use the common sense and try to maximize your mindfulness as much as possible. That is the only way of justification.
Then maybe there are no more questions for today, Venerable Sir.
Yeah.
Perhaps we can open to verbal questions.
Yeah, please. If there are.
Swamin Wahansa, the only reason I came for the meditation, this retreat, is because of the piousness that I have towards the Buddha. I really don't see the actual benefit of this. I feel that sometimes I get the notion that, am I wasting my time? I could do so many things rather than being here for 14 days. But only thing that's keeping me here is the shadra that I have towards the triple gem. So, is that good enough, or do I need to see the actual reason to get the benefit out of the retreat?
I may also raise a question. Soon you get the saddha, soon you get develop the devotion to the triple gem, you are already sotapanna. Then only you can do any discipline. So therefore, the last retreat we discuss it. Whenever you say Buddhan Saranam Gacchami, Dhamman Saranam Gacchami, so on and that's the least amount of Sotapatta Magga Puggala. That means the person who reach entering into the path. So you are already entered into the path. So you are within the Atharya Puggala Maha Sangha. Atharya Puggala Maha Sangha means Ahuneya, Pahuneya, Dakhineya, Anjali Karaniya. Anything offering, you are worth. Anything offered to the visitors, you are worth. And people come and Anjali, you are worth because you are Sotapanna. And once you become Sotapanna only, you can discipline yourself, restrain yourself. Otherwise, our mind is utterly chaotic. It is behind the pleasure principle. So now you have to understand, once you come here, how many thought moments or how many seconds you are justifying your faith. Justifying the faith of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So much so that it is helpful for you. And if it is increasing, your faith, your volume of time, space, time gap is increasing to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, so much so you are justifying your faith, and the Buddha assuring, proportionate to the time you devote to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, your tension, your frustration, your neurosis will be reduced. So that is the way you can verify whether you have done a good investment. And you are the very first person to understand whether you get lack of frustration, get lack of tension, lack of stress, lack of hysteria, or whatever may be. So within few hours or first and second day, you may not feel it. If it is happening with the gathering of the momentum, you will see the lack of suffering, lack of frustration, lack of tension, and then you have to ask whether that lack of frustration is worth the time I am spending. So therefore, at the beginning, specifically in the agricultural business, you have to put the money and wait. Agricultural business, you take time, not like the industrial business, investment. So therefore, agriculture has to be patient. The plants are not growing whatever the way you like it. If you grow rubber, 7 years. If you are growing chilies, at least 70 days. So at that time, you have to see the plants are growing, but not the crop. So whether it is you feel it, you have to weigh pros and cons, whether it is a worthwhile investment. It is not a second person. Your own solitude, your own peace of mind, your own contentment, or your own lack of frustration, your own lack of tension, lack of neurosis. So that will justify, that will verify you whether you have done a good investment or not. So very first thing is I am reiterating, soon you take the refuge of the Buddha, you are Sotapanna. Mahasi Sayadaw is telling that's the least Sotapanna. And then if you are live up to that, you will be finishing the task. If you are not living up to that, you will be for the name, for the label's sake, and then you will be just unbecoming to a yogi. So the outsiders will decide whether you are living true to type, or how do you call, worth a retreatant or not. Not only you, others also can decide. So we'll put the investment and see.
Venerable Swamin Vansa, I have a small question. Earlier, you said that when meditating, if you know that you are sitting, that's a big thing, and that's at least you are sovereign. I want to know when do you actually take your attention to the breathing? First, you take your attention that you're sitting, and then you take your attention to the upper part. You forget about the bottom, and then you take your attention to the breathing part and forget about the whole world. I want to know, when do you actually know that you're ready to focus on just the breathing?
The ready when the breath become naturally obvious, when the breath become prominent by itself. So I will put your words in this way so that it will make a sense, hopefully. When you are in the day-to-day activities, your mind is roaming around, yesterday, tomorrow, other people, other place, and therefore hardly the mind rests, here now I am. I will put it this way, our whole our life is, we are hating, here now I am. That is what you call the life. You hate here, you hate now, you hate me. That's why we have future plans. That's why we have a better half. That's why we have other good places and we have dreams. So when the Buddha knowing that he says, okay, revolutionary, he says, okay, I am going to give you a noble quest. Try to keep the mind here now I am. So then you take your body as your here and I and now. You find how difficult to keep the mind in or inside rather than going out. So that will be the first and foremost challenge. So you have to sit comfortably, relaxed way, and symmetrical. And that is the best way for mind to come and rest. And then you make sure, now I am sitting, I am symmetrical, I am relaxed, and then the mind is ready to come and dwell within. So that is, I would say, almost like enlightenment. Because our mind hates here now I am. So due to the Buddha, due to the Dhamma, due to the Sangha, due to the precepts and the morality, you ask the mind, I have developed the most conducive situation, please come and dwell here, now, I am, for 1 second, or 1 moment. So that means you are fully potential, possibilities are there to be enlightened in this very life. That's the first and foremost acid test. And if you are there, then whole Kamatan, whole teachers, all meditation centers, all Tripitaka is to keep that thought moment too. Second, third moment. Third thought moment. And likewise, to maintain that already achieved the present moment is what you call Buddha Sasana. That's what you call whole conducive condition. So you have to put your common sense. To understand just getting the attention here now I am itself is a revolutionary. And it's a potential. It's a possibility. And then you try your best to keep second, third, fourth. So ultimately you may find, more you put forth your effort, it is not such a big task if you have the real appreciation, and later you may feel relaxed. You may feel, okay, I can be here and now. And while you are being there, then you can understand our mind is happy to be with dramatic events rather than the flat tissues. So therefore when you observe, you see dramatic part, the dynamic part, metabolic part is happening in the upper part of the body. Lower part is just anchoring your body. So then easily, pragmatically, the mind is confining. You are not forcing, but confining to the active part and leave the lower part. Now you have not only forgotten the world, but you have forgotten the lower part of your body also. Now your attention is more to the upper part of the body. And then the air element come into being. Expansion, contraction, in-breath, out-breath, all. And when you are observing, within the body, upper part of the body which is erect, what is the most rubbing vantage point, active point for the air transaction? Some people find it's a rising and falling of the abdomen. Some people find in the nostrils. And then that is the time for you to say, okay, now you are not only forgetting the world, not only forgetting the lower part, you are ready to forget the whole body, but the touching point, the breath, nostril, or rising and falling, and then you can understand the word meaning one-pointedness. The mind first, forget about the world, come to the body, and then forget about the lower part, come to the upper part, and that is also forgotten, come to the touching point. When and where this is, that is what we call concentration. That's what we call one-pointedness. So don't try to do it. Whenever it is ready, facilitate it. Fertilize it. Feed it. So therefore, when and where you sit and try to focus the touching point, that means you are not gradual. You are making tense. You are making unwanted twist. So therefore, this art, to focus it when and where situation is conducive, it's not a science, it's an art. Many people try to get more results, they miss the bus. That is very patient. Let the body to decide, let the mind to decide when is the best time to tighten the belts, tighten the screws and nuts, and go to one-pointed slowly. And next day when you are starting, again you have to start like a beginner. Yesterday's success will never give any advantage for the today's. Maybe, but don't expect. Next day also you have to start with the wandering mind and try to take it to the own body, and when and where situation conducive, see the dynamic part in the upper part of the body, and then within that also what is the touching point, and that is how one-pointedness happens. In walking meditation, once you taken the attention to the body, it is not the touching the buttocks and the back in the soil, but you can see the left leg and right leg. And there you find the dynamic part is not the upper part of the body, but the lower part of the body. So the Buddha says, keep the hands and forget about the upper part and see moving legs. And in sitting meditation, the dynamic point is static, one place. But in walking, left leg to right leg to left leg, but still, even the touching point is changing, the consistency of mindfulness is there, therefore it is very dramatic. It's very challenging, and it needs so much of energy. So the art, if you learn how to focus, how to make one-pointedness in left leg, right leg, that concentration is lasting than the concentration you gain in the sitting meditation, because it is earned through dynamic process, challenging process. And whenever you gain kind of a concentration, one-pointed, supposed to say in day-to-day activities, and specifically in multitasking, then only you become universal, then only you diversify. So therefore beginners we give sitting meditation, and then walking meditation, and slowly, with time, with challenges, you learn the art how to maintain the mindfulness even in multitasking. So therefore everything is gradual expansion happens, gradual diversification happens. So you must know what is the best opportunity, and that is the most unknown thing for the beginner. But the expert masters, they just wait the circumstances to get mature. Then only start it. Something like when you are embarking a small boat to the sea, you can't do it in the off-season. You have to wait till the season. You have to wait till the tame kind of wave happens, then only embarkation happens. So therefore it's a very cultural thing, sensitive thing, nature-loving thing, when to embark the boat. That's why the Buddha is waiting aeons of time and understand which time is the best for a Buddha to appear. He is not going ahead of time, he is he. And that is what you call Nipaka Panya. There is a kind of a wisdom quite related with the nature. And he take the opportunity, he never try to impose upon the nature. He take the mean advantage of the constellation, opportunity, and that is the age-old system. So, mindfulness also where to start, what is the soft end, where to get into and how to establish the power is an art. So therefore, don't try to go for fine-tuning, just try to be here and now with the body, and that itself is, I sometimes call it is almost like Nibbana. When and where you live with your body, you are your best friend. And then the whole world is the best friend. And all the plants, animal, living beings, everything become best friend because you best friend with your body. But present day people, 100% hating themselves. They hate their here now I am. That is why so much of billions of money they invest on experimenting and research. But they hate the present moment. If they are happy with the present moment, the kissa pariyechananchare apate sabbata thiyu. The Buddha says, if the water is available, why you should go for in search of research with the water, if we are quenched enough. So we can understand how much we have future plan, how much we are planning, that indicates you how much you hate the present moment. Whole science, whole knowledge today is a sign of hate to the present moment. The more you educated, more you get in a rut, rusted. More you forget about the present moment. More you hate your body. And ultimately, burning the candle from both the ends, you burn. But the present moment, people living in the present moment, just simply think about the children below age 6. They have nothing, but they are fully contented. And if you have any tension, just look at the child. You get relaxed. If you do not have children like me, look at the cat. You got a relaxed way. And sometimes the cats are shitting inside, therefore Nissarana Vanaya have gone beyond the cat, now we have enough rats. So we have put the nets. But the cat is the answer, but they are not happy. If it is so, look at the fish tank. How the fish behave. Such a relaxed way, in a very dynamic way, they never sleep. All day open, all day dynamic. So these are the points you to get rid of tension. The best way, the free of charge method is, whatever the way you are put up with, just be friendly with your body. And that is the beginning of the Satipatthana, this is the middle of Satipatthana, I call this the end of Satipatthana. So you will be more and more happy with your posture, more and more happy your body. You are the king. You are contented. That's what the Buddha, even in front of the Nalagiri, the wild elephant, he just say, I have nothing more. Only my hand, no pistol, no cyanide, no any weapons. No one can come close to him. We have so much of weapons, we have so much of knowledge, we have so much of bank accounts, so much of wealth, because we don't believe here now I am. So therefore this whole journey in this retreat, we declare as the mindfulness, is to be here and now. And just see, whole 14 days, anything lacking for you to be mindful? Nothing. Everything is there. Your lab is fully equipped. Only you don't believe. Only you don't appreciate it. So how to give that belief, how to give that appreciation to that, what you call maturity. It is called matter of time. Yeah, mic again.
Thank you.
Swamin Wahanse Avasarai, a follow-up question on what you just now mentioned. If you actually try to live in the present moment as a lay person, for example, we are always planning on improving our careers or children doing their studies and all that. So we can't really have a lay life and develop our lay life in that aspect, right? Because then we are always thinking about the future. We are always making those plans. In that case, should we give up our lay life and become ordained?
What do you mean lay life?
Lay life, I think.
What do you mean lay life?
As a ghi, as a living in a house with the family, you have to tell your children, go ahead, now you finished your A-levels, go to university, do work. So again, you're planning, you're looking at the future, you're not happy with the present. In a way, if you try to...
So what is the difference between the bhikkhu and ordained life and the lay life? There is no difference. You have never become ordained, that is why you are in the one side and asking the question. I am in the bhikkhu life, I am more planning than you. And all the monks are full, utter fools. They never give good example. Till you become ordained, you will say after ordination everything is finished, no problem. But they have more responsibility, so therefore life is life, no lay life, no ordained life. Now you raise the question again. What is the question then?
How can we be at the present moment and progress in life?
The being here and now is the progress. There's nothing, two things. Whenever be here and now only, that progress happen. All the other time your energies are dispersed, never concentrated, so you do more damage than concentrated. So therefore the Buddha says, if you love yourself, if you have any well-being, it is happening only here and now. Instead, whatever the plan you are doing with dispersed mind, never lasting. Even if you are planning your children or future of the children, if the children is hating your planning, do you think children are appreciating your planning? I will say never. You all are torturing your children. Children never born due to your desire, your sexual feeling about the child. Ultimately, poor child become your victim, you twist them. So, Buddha says, Mata yata niyam puttang ayusayika puttamanu rakke. Even the parents have that kind of love, children are never loving their parents. It's a proven fact in the present day development. And when His Holiness Dalai Lama told, earlier the hate was to the father, now for the last 30-40 years it changed to the mother. So therefore, if you do not have any war, it is now at the hand of the housewives. Unlucky enough, we don't have housewives, now we have house husbands. Because wives are at home, at work. Husbands are doing household work. So when I was in New Zealand, the Dalai Lama came and he told, now the world peace, everything has the female hand, be patient, don't rush. Now children are hating mother. When we were young, we hate our father. Because he is a parusha. Parusha means that he is very aggressive. And mother is the soft end. Now for the last 40 years, now hatred goes to the mother. Because mothers are planning than fathers. People hate them. And now in Sri Lanka, each and every child born is in debt 50,000 rupees. Because we have already eaten their future. Our whole country is at loan. We have we have to pay. Each and every child born, newborn child, are born with that debt. That parents are responsible. If you wish Please listen to that one girl, he is talking, she stopped the world for 5 minutes and she says, below 13, she says, addressing to the parents, addressing to the elders, telling what is the world you are going to leave behind. Can you redo it? If it is not so, please stop decision making. So all the parents are responsible. You think it is a utter necessity to make decision for the children, but children hate that. I am talking on behalf of children. If possible, stop it. Forget about the spirituality, forget about the mindfulness. Try to stop it, you can't, because you are habituated. And now you are going to make a positive mark, unfortunately, in front of Dhammajiva. Never. You can't. You young mothers and young parents are very enthusiastic and you have no time for meditation. Even the elders don't have meditation because responsibility. Whatever you do with this kind of motivation, volition and will is evil. Each will is evil. That according to Arthur Schopenhauer, and he became very black sheep in the Western philosophy. But luckily enough, Nietzsche reiterated, Sabbe Sankhara Dukkha, Sabbe Sankhara Anicca, Sankhara means decision making. So therefore the Buddha says, maybe you are pressed with the social burden, pressed with the children, but even then, try to be mindful. At that moment you can see no decisions, no volition, and no will. Therefore no creation of future involvement, no future commitments. So therefore at that moment, you are not making a turmoil. And therefore try to see within one day, at least one thought moment, 2 thought moments, 3 thought moments. Ultimately when and when you become that your here and now become your second nature, and the here and now become your background, you see your decisions are lasting. Not interfering other psychologies. You can be open. You can listen to others. Then it is not a rather decision, it's a collective thing. And then it won't create such a problem. So therefore, don't accept all what I am going to say. Just think, any decision you are making, you are becoming committed. The whole world you can run without a decision. That is what the animal world. So animal world, no, they don't have cancer. They don't have AIDS. And they don't have devotion. How do you call? Dikka sadhana madhiya? Devote. Divorce. Animal world, they don't have divorce. They don't have inflation. Bloody fool, they don't have the marriage and money. So you see, we bloody fool after becoming civilization, what created? That created a cross and put upon you money and the marriage. Finished. I am not talking against the civilization. Just see the disadvantage of it. Is it worth carrying the whole cross? Without marriage, without civilization, without money, what a world. What a playful world. So therefore give a little kind of a revolutionary kind of thinking, and even then the most beautiful thing is, even if you are already committed as a married person, even if you are already committed as a moneyed person or poor person, mindfulness at any time you can introduce, whether you are committed or not. Mindfulness gives indiscriminate pure chance. Otherwise Angulimala, Patachara, they can't. So therefore mindfulness is a high potential. Even you are in a stress, even if fully relaxed, even if you are divorced, even if you are about to marry, mindfulness is equal. And very recently I had a chance to talk with one of the civil servant. He says, in his plan, he is going to make as quick as all the financial decision, and he is going to have puja telling the celestial beings to come and reborn in the human world and take the justice to the world. Then I asked him, it's a good idea, ask the heavenly beings, the Brahma, Deva, to come and reborn in Sri Lanka. Then I told, best thing is the pregnant woman must meditate, then the whole the celestial beings will come. That's what the Upandita Sayadaw was doing. Soon after the marriage, once you become pregnant, please meditate and see how the children. They are very obedient. They are very innocent. And the first experiment done in Sri Lanka, they have done 10-day retreats for the pregnant woman, and after that they have checked the before meditation children and after meditation children. Big difference. So mindfulness is such a revolutionary thing, such a good initiative, any person can do. So therefore, whether you are lay or ordained, whether you are married or not, whether you are well-to-do or not, just give a chance to mindful and see, without introducing mindfulness in such a effective way, how unmindful are we and how much we are hating here now I am. So definitely such a person hating the neighbor. What else? If you love yourself, you see the world is more greener. Birds singing are very music, aesthetic, and the rivers are flowing in a very aesthetic way. Everything is perfect. If the human beings are not on the earth, it will be perfect. Human beings are the worst lot. Call this the human earth, Manussa Loka. It's a filthy language. Human beings are the disturbing this. All the animals are doing but little disturbance. But the humans, we make ozone layer finished and the global heating, all the kind of thing. So our younger generation yet to come, they hate us. Best thing is just stop. At least during the retreat time, reduce your verbal activities, physical activities, if possible mental activities, and see how much it is contributed to the contentment or peace of mind on an experimental basis before preaching to others. Okay, we have already taken 1 hour. So from now onward till 3 o'clock we will be taking time for walking meditation, and 3 o'clock we will be meeting here for the common, the group sitting. Thank you very much for the participation.